Hey folks, I'm here with Matt and we're going to be talking about Abzu. How are you today?
Great, doing great.
Awesome. So could you just tell me, for the people who don't know, what is Abzu? What is it and what are you doing?
So Abzu is an underwater adventure game that is trying to evoke the dream of scuba diving. Not simulating scuba diving, but rather what you wish you could do while you're scuba diving. So you can stay underwater forever, there's no air gauge, and you're very acrobatic, and there's a narrative that unfolds, and you discover this mysterious world underwater.
Awesome. Now can you go in a little detail about the underwater world? Is it based in real life or are there fantastical fish in there?
So what's really fun is that all the fish are based on real fish. Actually, at the beginning of the project, I was thinking, are we going to make up fish? And I started researching, and I found out that you can't make up fish that are cooler than the real thing. So we just went with that, and we actually have hundreds of different species in the game, and there's schools of thousands of fish. So it's really fun to find all of these different types of creatures in the world.
Awesome. Now, do they act as they would in real life? Like, what is the behavior of these fish?
We've spent a lot of time researching how fish move in schools, and we wrote a really cool procedural movement system for them, this algorithm that just is a simple set of rules, but out of that comes these really dynamic behaviors. So they react to each other and make these giant schools, they hide from predators, and they interact with the player. It's really fun.
Awesome. Now, speaking of predators, what are the dangers of being in open water?
So the ocean is this beautiful place, but it's also terrifying, right? So that's something that we wanted to capture with Abzu. So there are serene moments, but you also encounter this great white shark and other dangers as you go deeper into the abyss. And that's all kind of secret at this point, but I think it's going to be very fun for players to see all these kind of secret environments in the deep. So yeah.
Awesome. Now, when you were showing off some gameplay, I couldn't help but notice the amazing soundtrack that was happening. It was very Journey-like. Can you go into detail about the music?
Absolutely. So we were very lucky to be working with Austin Wintory, who was the composer who did the soundtrack for Journey. And he recorded an awesome score for Abzu, a full orchestra and a choir, recorded in London and in Nashville. There's actually a 7-piece harp ensemble that's featured in the game, which is pretty unheard of to have that many harps. So it sounds amazing. It's a really fun part of the game.
Now, the game looks very gorgeous. It has a very distinct aesthetic. Why did you guys decide to go for that aesthetic instead of a more realistic look to Abzu?
Sure. So the look of the game is trying to be this kind of stylized version of realism. It's this almost like an illustration. And it goes along with the narrative of the game, the idea of the game being that it's not a simulation, but it's kind of evoking this dream, like what you kind of wish things could be. So when we looked at fish, we wanted to stylize them down to just the parts that really communicate. And they're all based on real fish, but they're streamlined so that when you see them in schools of thousands, like they just read, So that's kind of the idea of the art.
Now I'm going to ask you a question that I don't know if I want you to answer, but Abzu is based in real life with the fish, but with Journey, it was such a surreal journey. Will we be having surrealism with Abzu?
Oh, definitely. I was telling you earlier that the ocean is so inspiring because we know so little of what's down there, and we wanted to capture that in the game as well. Just that kind of magic that you feel when you think about what it could be happening down there. So it becomes a very surreal experience, and I think that that's one of the most fun parts for us, is designing that mixture of that stylized realism and surrealism in the game world.
Awesome. And you guys recently announced the release date for Abzu.
Yes.
So when is it finally coming out?
We're very excited to finally announce our release date, which is August 2nd, very soon.